research. There are conversations happening in academia around ethics and AI, and whether we should be thinking about AI ethics through a critical theory lens. And I'm looking at an article right now by Rosalie Whalen. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. And her article is Why AI Ethics is a Critical Theory. So she is making this claim that AI ethics is a critical theory, and that was published in 2022. So, and I've seen this idea start to gain some traction, that AI ethics is a critical theory. And what does that mean? So, critical theory comes from the Frankfurt School, the Marxist-based thinking. And so when we look at critical theories like feminist critical theory, or you can have race-based critical theories, you can have Marxist-based critical theories, a lot of different lenses that look at the world through oppressor-oppressed dynamics. And so someone's the oppressor, someone's the oppressed, and that's a more, at the very base, simplistic description of what a critical theory is. And the other aspect to it, it's not just being used to raise awareness and to analyze and to critique particular power dynamics, but also to create change, that the people practicing critical theory are doing so that at the end of the day, they are provocateurs of change. They are agents of change, or they're change agents in this conversation that they're having with various texts that they're analyzing through their critical lenses. So is AI a critical lens? I could see the argument being made for that. I am not, at this point in my life, a huge fan of critical theory anymore. I used to be when I was younger. I think it's one of those, I think the goals are noble in that it wants to liberate the oppressed. That's the end goal of a critical theory, is to liberate the oppressed within the area it's looking at or analyzing. I think that's very noble, but I think at the same time, from a academic point of view, it leads to just a lot of dead ends. I mean, how deeply can you analyze certain aspects of critical theory? And I also think within the arts and humanities, it robs it sometimes of the spiritual, the phenomenological, the shared experience, the evolutionary purpose of storytelling and art, which is to communicate and share knowledge. It reduces a lot of art to political questions and ideological questions. And I think it's too reductive. I guess that's my big critique of critical theory. And I'm sure I'll get blasted for saying that. But I think they can be useful lenses. You know, I think they can definitely be useful lenses. I'm not saying we should just dismiss them. I just think that because we rely in higher education and academia so heavily upon those critical lenses, that there's a lot that we're not seeing, and our students and people in society are not getting exposed to, because we are just kind of fixated on these critical lenses as the only way to analyze things, when there are many different lenses and frameworks we could be using to analyze the world in which we live. But in this article about whether or not we should view the ethics of AI as a critical lens, the author identifies several ethical dimensions that seem to be cropping up in the literature. One is around transparency. How transparent is this AI? How transparent are the algorithms being used? What data is being scooped up from the internet to inform those databases? How's people's personal data being used? Is that transparent? So transparency is a part of it. Of course, justice and fairness. I think from a leadership point of view, that's a really important aspect. to think about, because in your leadership position, often you're an arbitrator of fairness within your organization, right? You want to make sure that people are being treated fairly. And within the context of AI, there's all kinds of fairness and justice questions. Does everybody have access to it? If AI is indeed a tool that will increase productivity and allow us to have more leisurely work lives, is everyone going to benefit from that? Are there going to be people or jobs that have benefit from this technology and those that don't? And how can we kind of even the playing field around that? Responsibility, privacy is another one, beneficence, freedom and autonomy. That's always an ethical question. How do we create liberty for people? And there's different perspectives on how to create liberty. Trust, sustainability, dignity, solidarity. So there's all kinds of different ethical characteristics or avenues that we can explore within the context of artificial intelligence and generative AI. So that's what we're going to be talking about on this episode, is looking at all those different features of ethical dimensions of AI to dig into what this technology is and how we can use it responsibly and ethically as a society.